Good day. I'm Ilamaran Letchumanan, and my research topic is about exploring the shift of thinking in education between Form 5 and Form 6 students in SMK Sultan Ibrahim. Over the years, my professional experience has led me to recognize a noticeable gap in understanding between students at the Form 6 and Form 5 levels. My observation and interaction within the educational setting inform this realization. The rapid and extensive changes occurring in the field of education pose significant challenges to the development and successful adaptation of educational practices. Consequently, navigating these changes effectively become more difficult. In Malaysia's secondary education system, the transition from Form 5 to Form 6 marks a significant intellectual transformation for students. During this period, students move beyond more mere memorization and rote learning towards a deeper understanding of the subject matter. In Form 5, students typically focus on mastering foundational concept and content knowledge within specific subject. However, in Form 6, they are challenged to delve deeper into their studies, grappling with abstract ideas, theoretical construct, and analytical reasoning. This transition requires students to develop higher order thinking skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, and evaluation. Cognitive domains refer to different aspects of cognitive functioning. For example, in Form 5, students may primarily engage in memorization and recall facts. However, in Form 6, there is a shift towards critical thinking, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation processes. These changes in cognitive domains have a profound impact on students' learning experiences. Academic pressure and career aspirations can significantly influence students' cognitive processing, decision making, and motivating during the transition from Form 5 to Form 6. The pressure to excel academically can shape students' cognitive and emotional responses. Furthermore, students with clear career goal may demonstrate greater determination. However, unrealistic of externally imposed career expectation can also contribute to stress. When evaluating the effectiveness of these pedagogical strategies, it is essential to consider factors such as students' career knowledge and learning preferences. For example, PBL involves presenting students with real world problems to solve collaboratively. By grappling with complex problems, students develop critical thinking skill and analytical reasoning. Socio-cultural factor, including socioeconomic status, cultural background, and language proficiency, develop gaps among students from different socio-cultural backgrounds. For example, students from disadvantaged backgrounds may face barriers such as limited access to educational resources, which can hinder cognitive development and academic achievements. This research aims to investigate how cognitive development e- evolves as students transition from Form 5 to Form 6. Across various subject areas, it involves examining changes in critical thinking abilities, problem solving skill, and metacognitive awareness. For example, they may explore how critical thinking skill differ between science and humanities subject, or how cognitive strategies vary in mathematics and language arts. This research seeks to understand how academic pressure and career aspiration influence students' cognitive processes and academic performance. It involves exploring the complex interplay between external stresses, internal motivations, and cognitive functioning. This research assesses the efficiency of pedagogical approaches in enhancing cognitive development and self-regulated learning from Form 6 students. It involves implementing interventions of instructional methods targeted at these cognitive domains and evaluating their impact on students' learning outcomes. This research examines how socioculture factors such as ethnicity and socio-economic status impact students' educational experiences, cognitive development, and academic outcomes during the transition from Form 5 to Form 6. By employing quantitative analysis and qualitative studies, help to explore the differential effect of sociocultural factors on students. Research questions about cognitive domain changes allow researchers to investigate how students' cognitive ability develop and change over time, particularly during critical periods such as transition between educational levels from Form 5 to Form 6. The questions are shown in this slide. Academic pressure can significantly impact students' mental health and well being. By exploring how academic pressure manifests and its consequences, researchers can identify strategies to support students' well being and resilience. The questions are shown in this slide. Research questions in this area aim to identify effective pedagogical strategies that enhance students' learning outcomes. By investigating the effectiveness of different instructional methods, approaches, and interventions, researchers can provide evidence based recommendations to improve teaching practices and student engagement. The questions are shown in this slide. Socio-cultural factors such as race, ethnicity, economic socioeconomic status, language, and cultural background significantly impact students' educational experiences and outcomes. By examining the root cause of educational inequities, researchers can inform efforts to address systemic barrier and promote educational equity. The questions are shown in this slide. While extensive research has been conducted on adolescents' cognitive development, academic pressure, and sociocultural influences individually, there remain a notable gap. Understanding how these factors interact and collectively influence the specific shift in thinking experienced by Form 5 and 6 students in Malaysia education system, hindering the development of targeted pedagogical approaches. In organizing a literature review using a thematic approach, the focus is on identifying and synthesizing key themes, topics, or concepts that emerge from the existing body of literature on a particular subject. A thematic, a thematic approach also allows for a more holistic examination of the topic by grouping related studies based on common themes or ideas they address. Analysis based on cognitive development refers to adolescence signifies a crucial period marked by significant cognitive transformation alongside physically and emotional changes. Piaget theory highlights the transition from concrete to formal operational thinking during this phase, characterized by the emergence of abstract reasoning and metacognitive abilities. Next, analysis based on academic focus and pressure refer to Form 6, the pinnacle of Malaysian secondary education. It signifies a critical period for students marked by aspirations for academic advancement and the pressures of high stake examination like the STPM and SPM. This stress, elucidated by scholars like Mars and Elliot, can determinantly impact student motivation and learning approaches, fostering a reliance on superficial memorization over deeper compression. Analysis based on identify formation and career appreciation aspiration refers the adolescence is a pivotal period marked by psychological changes, fostering the development of identify and contemplation of career path. Eric Erikson, psychological theory frame adolescence as a stage centered on identify synthesis, including occasional aspirations. Analysis based on metacognitive strategies and learning approaches refers that navigating the demanding landscape of Form 6 education requires not only subject specific knowledge but also the cultivation of self regulated study skill and metacognitive strategies. Metacognition, understanding one's cognitive processes, empowers students to plan, select appropriate method, and evaluate comprehension with empirical evidence endorsing its effectiveness in improving academic outcomes. Analysis based on sociocultural influence refer that beyond the pressures of high stakes exam and future career goals, Form 6 students grapple with a complex web of sociocultural influences stemming from familial backgrounds, socio-economic status, ethnic identities, and academic affiliations. Real life examples such as the contrasting experiences of Asim and May illustrate how sociocultural factors influences student access to resources and academic stress. Limited research. One challenge could be the scarcity of existing literature, specifically focusing on comparing cognitive developments on thinking patterns between Form 6 and Form 5 students. These might make it difficult to find sufficient sources to include in your literature review. Heterogeneity of studies. The available literature might come from diverse disciplinary backgrounds, educational system, or cultural contexts, leading to heterogeneity in methodologies, terminologies, and research findings. Synthesizing and integrating these heterogeneous studies into a cohesive narrative can be challenging. Concept, Conceptual complexity. Exploring cognitive development and shift in thinking involves complex theoretical framework and concept from fields such as psychology, education, and cognitive science. Understanding and appropriately conceptualizing these theories and construct can pose a challenge, especially if you are not familiar with these fields. Access to resources. Accessing relevant academic journals, books, and research database may be challenging, especially if you are conducting your literature review outside of the academic institution that provides access to these resources. Limited access to scholarly literature can hinder the breadth and depth of your literature review. Ethical consideration. Ensuring ethical conduct in conducting and reporting your literature review is essential. This includes properly citing and acknowledging the contribution of other researchers, avoiding plagiarism, and adhering to ethical guidelines related to research inter- integrity and academic honesty. Comprehensive literature search. Utilize a variety of academic databases, journals, and sources to ensure comprehensive coverage of relevant literature. Synthesize findings. Synthesize findings from the literature to identify common themes, patterns, and gaps related to the shift in thinking between Form 6 and Form 5 students. 6. Expert guidance. Consult with faculty members, advisors, or experts in the field to seek guidance on relevant literature, methodologies, and theoretical framework. Stay updated. Keep abreast of the latest research, development, and publication related to the shift in thinking in education. Ethical consideration. Adhere to ethical guidelines and standards for conducting literature review, including proper citation practices, avoiding plagiarism, and maintaining research integrity. Existing research on the transition from Form 5 to Form 6 in Malaysia overlooks the collective impact of various factors on students' cognitive development and academic experiences. To address this gap, future research should explore how cognitive changes affect academic across subject and investigate the impact of exam includes stress on students, psychological well-being, and academic success. Additionally, studies should focus on identifying effective pedagogical approaches for fostering self-regulated learning and metacognitive skill, considering the influence of sociocultural factors on students' experience and educational opportunities. The transition from Form 5 to Form 6 in Malaysia is a pivotal phase marked by high-stake exam. Identify identify developments and career aspirations. Educators must understand the complex cognitive, emotional, and sociocultural dimension at play to support students' growth. Effective learning requires fostering self-regulated learning and metacognitive skill while addressing students' diverse background. Educator can tailor approaches to promote critical thinking, create inclusive environments, and facilitate open communication. Thank you.